Hello, everyone. So today, Komal and I, we will be presenting a session on problem solving. Um, Whether personal or professional, there is no dirt to problems. I guess we all face challenges on the professional and personal front. Today, we will go about how we can approach a problem and work towards its solution. We'll go over the different steps that we can go over towards the solution. Discuss the steps. She will take us through the example at the client side, how the different steps were followed and they went towards solving the problem. At the end of the session, we can have a free-for-all session where if each one of us can share our inputs with respect to problem solving. So we'll start right away. The different steps for problem solving. The number one will be problem identification. It's extremely important that we identify the problem correctly so that, the solution can be achieved accordingly. The second step would be problem analysis, goal setting, solution generation, evaluation and selection of the planning, how we execute the solution, continue to monitor it, and then finally review and continuous improvement. Even though you have worked on the solution, you might have to review it and continuously tweak it. So that is why the continuous improvement part. We'll quickly jump to the problem identification problem. So what is the problem or challenge that you are facing? How does it impact us? So because of the problem, what are the things that are happening and what are the symptoms or indicators of a problem? For example, if we are not able to achieve the set goals with respect to, say, sales, we are not able to meet the targets despite the best practices. So then maybe, take a step back and identify where the problem is. Is it with a tool, or is it with the engagement, or is it with the process? So accordingly, the solution can be worked upon. In Komal's case, she worked on a CRM. So Komal, would you elaborate on the example?
Sure. So what was the problem or a challenge with my client was that everything was on Excel. There was no specific CRM that was introduced in the past. So everything was Excel, everything was done the old way. And there were thoughts of bringing in a CRM tool, but there was a lot of research, study, and everything was required, the time and an expertise was required in it. So that was the challenge. How does it impact? So yes, we were losing a lot of client engagement. We were getting a lot of clients, but we were not able to connect with them and bring them onto one page. So everyone was doing, their own client calling separately. But how would the main management know? Whom are you contacting on a daily basis? What is the activity? How many sales deals, we call it? How many contacts are you making? These are some of the, this is how it was impacting us. So we were not able to, loss of engagement was the impact. And, what are the symptoms or indicators of the problem? So again, the touch points were missed. Like I said, every time the call was made to the client, or every time the deal was cracked, or the contact was made, there was no system which was monitoring it. Separately, Excel sheets were maintained by the team members, but nothing was collated and it was time consuming. So this was the problem and an example given. Over to you, Priya.
We'll go over problem analysis now. So based on the reference that Komal gave, I think we are able to understand what the problem is. What was the root cause of the problem? What are the pattern or trends related to the problem? what is, surrounding the problem. Sometimes it is important that you get the necessary data to understand the problem. So in this case, probably number of leads that were there, how many they were able to convert. That kind of example, Komal will explain how they went about it. So identifying the root cause, what were the pattern or trends related to the problem, and then collating the necessary data to understand the problem.
Yeah, so basically lack of centralized system, like I said, Excel was only time consuming. So what used to happen by the end of the week or end of the month, the collation used to be there. Daily centralized system was not monitoring what was the actual, data or the statistics that we wanted. There was inconsistent customer data. So somebody was adding a wrong format. Somebody was missing out on the sale opportunity because the right time the client called and it was not, somebody else used to get the call. So here everything was getting missed. So the right team member was not contacted. If the contact or the client is mapped to me, I was not being contacted, somebody else was getting the contact. So this is what we call inconsistent customer data, because somebody else was getting it, and missed sale opportunity, because if I'm not getting it, I'm not able to get the trust of the client. He would say, I have never spoken to you, so maybe I don't want to discuss the deal with you. So that was the case. And then ultimately the data was not correct. The conversion rates were not coming on time, and visibility of the sales pipeline, which is very important in terms of reports, dashboard, these things could not be got on Excel. So this was the analysis that was made, that Excel is not something that, maybe we need something more than that. That was the analysis.
Right. We'll go to goal setting now. So based on the description that Komal gave, I think you all will get a reference about what was the next step that needed to be achieved. It is important to outline what is the goal or outcome that you want to achieve. How will achieving the goal address the problem? For example, in her case, the spreadsheets were not working. They needed a CRM, but what about constraints related to the CRM, constraints or limitations that need to be considered while setting the goal? So what is it that we would like to achieve? This is the problem, and where would we like to be? So that is with respect to goal setting.
Yeah, so basically what we did is we got into a meeting with the management, and we discussed about the first 2-3 requirements or goals that we need for now. So first thing is, how will the CRM solve the problem? Will it avoid an Excel sheet? Because we don't want to go back to an Excel sheet and duplicate reporting. So will we get rid of the Excel sheet and the CRM would do the job? That was the first step. Secondly, will the CRM be accepted by everyone? So data organization and streamline process to increase profitability. So will this bring more deals? Will this bring more profit? Is what was the goal. And secondly, thirdly, we discussed what was the budget that we have in mind, because a lot of free tools and CRM tools are available. But if we want good features, we will have to set a budget. Then implementation, will it work for what are the users that we need? How many users are required? If we have more than 5 users, will it be free or will it be a paid? And training, do we need extensive training, advanced training, or basic training is fine? And process changes, basically, will it be a huge process change, anything created that we have to make, or ready-made information will be available for the CRM?
Right. One aspect that, we need to keep in mind when we speak about budget is, we generally say budget is monetary. Sometimes it is also with respect to hours that we put in towards, achieving the solution. How much effort goes in and what will we achieve at the end of the effort. That is also important to consider. Solution generation. What are the potential solutions or approaches? It is always said, right? There is not one, path towards solution. That could be different approaches. They need to be discussed. Best practices, or are there any existing solution we can leverage? We might be strong in certain areas and that might be working well. Can we adapt some of those in this solution? With respect to process notes or trainings, or with respect to knowledge. So how easily can we adapt? Encourage creativity and diverse perspective. This is very important because, as I said, there are multiple approaches, and no one person might not be able to get all the perspectives involved in the process. So it's important to involve the team, get everybody's perspectives, views, and then work towards the solution.
So here in my case, what we did is, to generate a solution, firstly, the management decided to come up with comparing different CRM tools. So first we did research on 3 to 4 tools that we felt were matching our requirements. Then there was a competitive analysis that was done by my team, taking into account what were the 3 things that we need is, firstly, something to do with sales, something that will give us a dashboard, or something that will give us a sales pipeline, something that will match a customer relationship, or something that will give us those goals. So this was the first step, research and competitive analysis. Then we were collaborating with SMEs for identifying all the features required. What we call SMEs is subject matter experts. Now we thought the subject matter experts here were the customer care and the internal team of the CRM team. So HubSpot is what we decided. So we decided to contact the SMEs of HubSpot. Next one was Salesforce. So we decided to get in touch with Salesforce SMEs. Then there was Zoho. These were some of the CRMs that we were looking at. So we got in touch with all these SMEs. And internally also, some of them who had already used the CRM tool, like our VAs, we also collaborated with them. Like we had one of our sessions, Grow Up Academy session, where Pratibha had discussed about she using the tool. So, these, when they share best practices, we were able to get our analysis done. And brainstorming then, coming up with your ideas, somebody came up with their ideas, and we considered all perspectives. I created a PowerPoint presentation from my side, introducing my CRM tool that was of my choice. Somebody else came up with Salesforce, the other one came up with Zoho. So this is how we did a collaborative competitive analysis.
Coming to evaluation and selection, it is important to understand what are the criteria on which the potential solution is evaluated. What are the main features, or in this case features, but what are the main goals that we need to must-haves kind of a thing with respect to we need in the solution. How well does each solution align with our goals and constraints? Are we achieving everything that we are setting out to? And what are the risks and benefits associated with whatever choice of solution? There are pros and cons. So identify that clearly so that you are able to select the right solution for your problem.
Right. So streamline customer relationship management. So we wanted to ensure that the customer relationship, that is contacting the clients and asking them, the activities had to be monitored. So every time we used to contact the client, whatever we speak to them had to be monitored or updated. So that would streamline and get everything together. Then the tool selected should cater to most of the requirements. So whatever CRM we are selecting, so I ensured that mine would cater to everything, not just one feature, but all the features that are the need of the hour for my client. And implementation challenges versus user-friendly tool, whether my tool is user-friendly compared to the others. So we did a competitive analysis where we found that HubSpot was more user friendly than the other tools after going through the free trial. We tried to log in, we tried to use our email ID and see whether, we are able to go through all the flow, of creating the deals, creating a contact, and how I was able to do it. Then I also asked my managers to also log in, added them as the users, and then they also found that yes, the free version is a user friendly tool. So that was how the evaluation and selection process was finalized.
Implementation, identifying and solution is, one aspect. Next comes the implementation, and that requires clear planning and accountability. So identify steps and actions required to implement. Know who the key stakeholders are. Again, it is never a one-person show. There are multiple people who will be assigned responsibilities based on their expertise and skills that they bring. Allocate necessary resources and assign responsibilities. Set timelines, otherwise the implementation tends to prolong. We will not be able to achieve what we are setting out to within, the decided timeline. So it's important to break it down into parts, assign responsibilities and resources so that the implementation works well.
Right. So data collation was done by my IT department. What they did was all the clients who had to be mapped, and got into the CRM now. That data collation was done first. There was a time limit that was given that by this time, all the clients that are there in the system will be collated and got on a, so the CRM tool required everything to be on a Excel first and then transferred to the tool. So we did data collation first, then we had a training that was set up for our team members to how they will, once the data collation is done and once they are added to the CRM tool, we got the training and estimate of basically how much time it will take for them to learn and start using it. Then information of transition, parallel processing if required. So one by one, everyone was added inside the tool as a user, and one by one access was given to them. We did not give complete access to everybody. We only had first view only, then they were given edit access, and then they were given, some were made super admins, some were made view only. That is how one by one, step by step, deadline was there to add everyone. And then basically who was given the responsibility of tracking, who was given the responsibility of reporting and dashboard, and who was given the responsibility of feedback and continuous training with a timeline. So that is how the implementation and planning was done.
Execution, again, it is, once the implementation is planned, executing, one is, saying, okay, we will create the data by this date. These person will, upload the data, or this person will be responsible for keeping a track of, the transition processing. It is important that each step is tracked and the effectiveness is measured. Milestones and checkpoints to assess the implementation. Make sure that all the necessary steps and checkpoints are there so that the implementation happens thoroughly. Feedback mechanism and performance indicators should be included so that we can see how things are working with the execution. Are there any glitches or issues which needs to be overcome, and how we are doing it? So each step needs to be tracked and monitored.
So giving my example, or even the introduction. So once the users were added and we assigned and the mapping was done of the contacts, then we had another training and a discussion was done in the team as to viewing parts. So basically, viewing the tool. How do you feel? How does it feel to get introduced to a CRM, then to be on an Excel sheet updating your activities? That was the first step. Once we asked them their feedback about viewable access, Then we asked them what were the challenges that they faced once they got edit access, or they got access of updating their activities on a daily basis. So as we all know that, it is not easy to get used to a CRM or any tool, even for that matter, Asana and Trello. It takes time, to understand a CRM or a project management tool. It's not a one-day thing. So slow and steady, one by one, we were doing a one-on-one session with everyone, and sharing the screen and showing them that this is how you need to add, this is how the activities, this is where the deals are added. So it was, and videos were created, short videos were created to send them and show them that this is how. And we created a group where we could add tips and tricks of how you can do this and do that. So screenshots with tips and tricks were given. So we had a special team who was doing that as well. And then updating the feedback on a daily basis to the management and the super admins. Then dashboard status post implementation with necessary statistics. So then, like I said, the IT team used to create dashboards and seeing that now that the CRM is introduced, how many people have created new deals in the CRM or contacts compared to the Excel that was maintained. And finally, again, inputs were taken from the team members as to now that they've created the deals, how do they feel? Do they feel that they are, doing more? They're spending more time on the CRM. Do you feel that it's an added work to you or an added task? How much time are you taking on the task? Is it better than the Excel? So these were some of the execution and monitoring that we did of our team members and the tool simultaneously.
Right. Coming to the last bit, review and continuous improvement. Once the implementation is done, processes are outlined, and everybody's trained and you've started, it is important to review. Did the implementation solve the problem? What were the lessons learned from the process and outcomes that you achieved using the problems solution? Refine the solution to improve further problem solving. So when you review, you may identify that certain aspects can be changed, or we can manage it in a different way. So that needs to be reviewed and implemented so that we work towards a better solution, and we are continuously refining and improving our processes.
So I would say that the outcome right now is that we are 1.5 months into using the CRM tool. A lot of, I will say 40% of the team members are using it daily. We have ensured that we are giving them support when it comes to, if they have any feedback, we are resolving it within 24 to 48 hours so that, they update it on time. Better engagement definitely with the clients, because now we can instantly create meetings and close the activities. And the best part was that if now as a customer care team who gets more calls of other team members, if they know that this client is mapped to this person, they can open up, and then they can get the call connected, or they can arrange a call for that contact owner that we call. So here what has happened is that on the same day the client gets a call from their owner or the mapped person. Here there is a customer is not feeling avoided, or my call is not attended on time, or I'm not getting a response on time. That thing was taken care of. Also, we were able to get better sales and understand where we are falling short of in the sales pipeline. For example, if an introductory email or a meeting was set, why is it not closed in 24 to 48 hours? If there was a ticket or a service ticket that was raised, why was it not closed in 24 to 48 hours? This is something that we got out of the CRM tool. Document learning and challenges were, they were documented on a daily basis. The tracking team is doing it. And finally, we are again setting up, more features. What is it that we want next? Marketing hub, or another operations. So these are some of the things that we're looking into the same CRM. So that's about review.
Right. I'm sure all of you have faced similar situations wherein you needed to review and work towards a different solution than the current process. I